Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. I haven't posted in a couple days, I think maybe like a week or two, but we are here to change it. Hopping straight into this video. Um, we had a very successful week. Kind of more focusing on my own trading, so that's kind of like why I haven't been posting much at all. But um, this week and going forward, actually, would be changing that. I'm making a journal. This is actually inspired by Tom. I think his name is Tom Trades. Let me just make sure I get the correct name. I like how he have his journal and how he organized his how his pages on YouTube and Instagram. Yes, Tom Trades. So he's the next one that has a very detailed, organized um, way of trading, which I would definitely I would say I would be inspired by to put to the direction for my channel to go down in. This week we have some news coming in. We have William should be looking at Wednesday for the CPI. I'm not really swayed by PPI or the Euro news. I just strictly looking at the dollar. I really reach a point where I am really satisfied and understanding what I looking for personally. See, I wrote this yesterday, I believe, um, and I'm just yeah, so you could have it a little easier to read. So we have news on Tuesday. So basically, what I looking for. Wait, before I even get into that, let's look at how last week trade. So if we look across on the dollar index from on the weekly chart, we saw that we had a little bounce in previous week and coming into next last week we had a little pullback. Now I'm literally just trading off the daily chart with the weekly direction, meaning where I expect the weekly candle to expand towards by like Tuesday or Friday. And as long as I have an idea for that, I'm more focused on dropping to the daily chart and just taking day trades from the daily chart. So, but I like to look at it next first because I think like we might reach an area where we may see a little bounce, meaning some strength coming back in. So if we drop the daily chart, well, we have good data here first. We could see that on the dollar index, we actually rejected last week open, but very importantly, we didn't liquidate it. We didn't trade into the liquidity. So there's resting engineered sell side liquidity underneath here. So if we drop to the daily chart, but before we drop the daily chart, if we look across over to the dollar to GP pound GU, um, we have the same thing. So we rejected the opening price of week before last week and last week. We kind of like balance it out in a sense, but very importantly, we didn't reach up to the high last week. So now if we drop to the daily chart and we look at how the last couple days closed, we have good context. So um, coming into this week, we traded up into the highs for the year so far. We at the highs of the year already. We traded over the significant key level. This was a key level because it it drove the market lower, and then we trade above it. We trade above the we trade and close above the opening price, but we just kind of like liquidated this buy side liquidity. So obviously, a pullback would be expected. Now, my long-term bias for um, foreign is bullish, right? So if you notice, every time we clear a significant high, like up here, we cleared this high with this candle here. This was July. We had a nice pullback, and then we continue going higher. So we are bullish after we traded over. Actually, bullish since last year, if I'm being honest, when I started trading. Um, yeah, I noticed it was around October. Yeah, it was October here when I really started. So this fair value gap here obviously showed that we went higher. So we are bullish from the higher time frame, but after we clear every significant high, we would have a level of correction. So we see we have this order block, we have this gap in here, and a high, we trade up into it, and we have our little pullback. So I actually is expecting us to pull back maybe like to just test last week before last week open, and then continue going higher. So um, that is where we're at in terms of low overall bias. Um, but for the interim, I expect a slight pullback. So that's what we're playing off of here. Um, we saw Friday that we came back and contested week before last week's open, and we had a good strong rejection at that level, and we created a wick. But if you notice over on GU, we close below. Remember, as I say, if we have a bullish day and the next day after it traded up and still close underneath that day, then a bullish day that push prices down more likely to continue going down until it hits a key level. So with that information being said, if you notice, if you really wanted to continue going higher after we tapped in to Friday, this is Thursday low, we would have started pull back and created some sort of wick on this candle and maybe close something similar like Euro, where Euro did create that wick. Now, I still think obviously Euro would want to go a little lower first also, but because of the news driver we have coming into Tuesday and Wednesday, which is for pound, I believe like more opportunities will be on that in that market. And also, if you look at how the candles line up, they line up pretty. If you just going off a candlesticks, it line up a little clearer in terms of what Friday did and what they're trying to tell us. So if we take a look at the pound pairs that I have GU and I also have JPY. Um, do I have that in here? I think I removed it or no. I'll add it back because I was looking at that also. JPY forex.com. Alright, so I'm gonna just add this to the gulag. US pairs, foreign pairs. Alright, so I can put this, I'll put this here. Alright, so if you look at JPY, GJ, we saw that we had a bearish week, and GJ Monday was the high of the week. We had a close that broke lower. So it's looking as though that GJ would want to contest the lows underneath here. So, but I'll be more focusing on GU here. So I'll be looking at context. Friday we close underneath 2 bullish days, so the likelihood is that we will want to draw lower. My goal is to get us down until we get down into the second standard deviation from this accumulation leg in here. I believe like underneath there is where we'll see some sort of bounce. We'll also be underneath the dealing range. So what I'll be looking for really is for Monday to open and we trade up into this gap in here, which actually overlap with the last up close candle. So if I can have a level where we could probably Monday open and the average daily range would be somewhere inside of, yeah, the average daily range may be somewhere in here depending on how Monday trade, and then I would look at what I have written down up top here, where I'm looking for something like we have bearish sentiment currently, waiting for Monday to trade. Then at 9 p.m. that is basically the Asian session, which is actually for me the start of this new day. So from like 6:30, from 6 o'clock, I'll be considering anything after that Tuesday trading, Tuesday Asia, and I'll be looking at the 9 a.m. candle, the 9 p.m. candle. I'll look at the opening price and the high going into 1 a.m. London. Seeing that the news driver will be at 2, I'm looking at for the first 2 hours of the 4-hour candle that will be forming to form the high, which may be, sweeping some kind of consolidation that Monday caused, because we have no news Monday, so I anticipated Monday trading to be kind of in a tight range. So it will line up for like London any move up in London, which I would like to see London either um, sweep Asia or consolidate after the news at the opening, a little above the opening of Asia close candle, and between 3:30 to 4:30 in on Tuesday, I'll be looking for some kind of shift in market structure on the lower time frame, so I could look to gain with a short. I want to hold that trade either to the previous low, so it will look something like this low here as my draw. So if we could potentially um, get up into anywhere around, alright, so the new driver should come out around here 2 o'clock, depending on how the candles look when that time comes. We could get up into here, and I could get an entry somewhere at this PDRE, and we'll hold to get down to, yeah, we'll hold to get down to this swing low, here, and that will be our move. You know, this is 65 pips. If you could gain on this with these 7 lots, seeing that was Monday, 65 pips, that'd be a pretty good trade, you know. So that is what I'll be looking for GU for Tuesday. And yeah, clean, simple, straight to the point. The trades I'll be taking going forward from now would all be recorded. They will all be posted as one video at the end of the week, instead of having like instead of how yeah, I still come here how to do it, to like just do it per day, like the day trade per day, or just have it at the end of the week. I think that might be too long of a video. So if there's anything, I'll just do them day by day. Try to keep them short, and yeah, we take it from here, so I could create a roadmap from um where I last post, go all the way till we finish this 50K, and I move over to a larger account. So I'll see you guys Tuesday, and remember, keep trading, keep practicing, keep journaling, and we'll get more in depth with the strategy and everything when the channel grow a little bigger, and we take it from there.